All it took was 7 minutes, but the Louvre has been closed since. That heist of the century on Sunday morning, thieves making off with priceless jewels before making a clean getaway along the banks of the Seine. That's putting the onus on security. The French president had promised a beefed up renovation of Le Monde that would take decades, but it's not happened yet. And meanwhile, visitors have continued to come. Delano de Souza has more.
An investigation in full swing in the aftermath of Sunday's heist at Paris's iconic Louvre. The French Justice Minister says the massive security lapse at the most visited museum in the world has tarnished the image of France.
It's clear that we failed since people were able to park a furniture hoist in the middle of Paris, get people up it in several minutes, grab priceless jewels, and give France a terrible image.
French officials say a team of 60 investigators are currently working on a theory the burglary was planned and executed by an organized crime group. Authorities adding they've poured in significant resources to track down the perpetrators, and President Macron has expressed confidence they will be found. According to security experts, the Louvre would have had systems in place to signal a break-in was underway.
In a museum like the Louvre, breaking a window should normally trigger an alarm. That means an alarm would have gone off to a supervisor in the security team, and you would know exactly where it was taking place, and then you can react.
Sunday's 7-minute raid saw thieves dressed as construction workers take off with 8 priceless items of Napoleonic jewellery. Back in January, the French president announced a renovation and modernization plan for the Louvre, which seeks to enhance security after 15% of its team was scrapped over the past decade.
Well, for more, let's start our coverage outside the world's most visited museum with France 24's Claire Pacalin. Claire, as we saw in that report, they're looking for clues. What's the latest?
Well, police are still racing against the clock, Francois, to find the thieves, but also recover those precious, priceless jewels which were stolen before. And of course, this is what people are seriously worried about, that these jewels could be broken up and sold on. I had a little walk earlier on around onto the quayside of the Seine, and you can see the window which was smashed. It's been boarded up, and you can see a police car underneath. And of course, the thieves left behind the vehicle which they used to carry out the robbery. So police will be studying that vehicle, trying to find any evidence, any fingerprints perhaps. We understand that they left in a big hurry because they actually stole 9 items, but one of them, the crown of the Empress Eugénie, they dropped on the roadside and it was found near the museum. So it sounds like they left in a really big hurry. The museum, of course, has been closed today as police continue to carry out their investigation. The Louvre is always closed on a Tuesday, so it will be closed again on Tuesday, and we haven't yet had confirmation as to whether or not it will reopen on Wednesday.
There were some thinking maybe it would open this Monday. Did not happen. We can see there's crowds behind you still. What are people telling you?
There have been crowds here all day, Francois, with people coming to take a look, take that famous photo that many people take in front of the pyramid. But also I spoke to dozens of people who told me they had tickets today, and even though they had heard that the museum had been closed, they'd received an email and they can get a refund for the tickets they've already paid for, they wanted to come anyway. They wanted to take that photo in front of the pyramid. They wanted to see what was going on here. I spoke to a woman from Slovakia who told me that she doesn't know when she's going to get a chance to come back to Paris, and she had tickets booked for 3 p.m. today, and she said she felt awful about it. She was really disappointed. I also spoke to a woman from Virginia who was here with her elderly father, and they said that they're not sure this was a once-in-a-lifetime trip coming to Paris. They had expected to visit the Louvre today, and she told me she thought it was really upsetting and unfair that not only have these priceless pieces of French history been stolen, but also it means that thousands of people haven't been able to go into the Louvre and see the collections today. And I also spoke to a woman and her husband from Brazil, and they told me that they had planned to visit the Louvre today. Their flight going back to Brazil is tonight, so they're not going to get inside the Louvre today. It's closed. And they were disappointed because, again, Brazil is a long way and people come from all over the world to visit this museum. It's the most visited museum in the world. And so there are a lot of disappointed people outside the museum today, François.
And you heard that clip in that report of the Justice Minister wondering aloud if this makes France a bit of a laughing stock. What were people saying on that score?
No one told me that they felt that this made France a laughing stock or that it was a humiliation. I think people here are really sad. One woman even told me that she felt devastated that she wasn't able to visit the Louvre today. Another, I did speak to a French lady, a grandmother who was here with her granddaughter from the southwest of France. They've come up to Paris for the week. It's the school holidays, of course, here in France. So we have French visitors also at the Louvre. And she said that as a French person, she felt devastated that these precious pieces of French history had been stolen, and we don't know where they are. The last time a big robbery took place at the Louvre was in 1998. A painting by Camille Corot was stolen. It was a painting of the countryside near Paris, Chemin de Sèvres. That painting was never seen again. It was stolen in broad daylight when the museum was open on a Sunday, just like this robbery. It took place on a Sunday, and that painting was never seen again. So, of course, there's a lot of fears here in France that A, the culprits won't be found, but B, the jewellery will never be found either.
Claire Pacalin, many thanks for that live update outside of the Louvre. Well, for more, he's a descendant of some of those who had a stake in this. Prince Joachim Murat, thank you for being with us. Descendant of Marshal Murat and of Napoleon's sister, Caroline. Thank you for being with us here on France 24. Your reaction, first of all, to what these pieces represent, these jewels represent?
Alors, as a French citizen, it represents the real inheritance and the real proof of the multi-secular history of the French monarchy and the French nation altogether. You know, it's part of the jewelry were worn by Marie Antoinette. Others were built during the Mazarin time, which brings us back to Louis XIII.
17th century.
So those are very, very old and exceptional jewels. But amongst all these considerations, the shock is because of the symbol it represents. We have been hurt in our very soul, you know, as French. And personally, as one of the heir of the family, it's even more intimate for me. So I was literally devastated, really devastated and saddened.
And you heard Claire Pacalin speculating that. I mean, these pieces are so well known that the only way to get rid of them would be to break them up into pieces. You see that as a possibility?
Yes, of course, unfortunately. So let's hope that will not be the case. And I'm very confident that the police forces are extremely sharp to fight that type of crime. Very recently, the European police cooperated all together to fight illegal trafficking of art pieces, and they recovered, with the 17 countries' cooperation, they recovered 11,000 stolen pieces. So, my sincere thought is that we will capture the culprit. They will be caught and they will face jail. But will we recover the jewels? That I don't know.
Yeah, we never recovered, for instance, the sword of Charles X, the former king from the 19th century.
Indeed. And in this particular case, it's the imperial regalia that have been targeted. The the regalia of the Empress Josephine, the Empress Eugénie, the Queen Hortense, all the women of the French First Empire and Second Empire.
Why? Because they're easy to take away? It's easy on the back of a scooter, you can put them in your pocket?
It is jewels as itself, so you put it in a bag and you go away. But there are other jewels available for the taking in the room, like the very big diamond named the Regent. There you have two other very huge diamonds exposed there. They could have stolen them. They targeted specifically the imperial regalias.
Why?
Question mark. So you have several options. Either it's because they were made of stones that are so precious that you can dismantle and sell them one by one for a huge price, or it's a mad billionaire willing to order that heist, or it's a criminal organization who want to steal this regalia as as a leverage against potential threat from the French state or other state in the world, because it happens recently that the paintings of Caravage was stolen by the 'Ndrangheta, I think, the Calabrese mafia, and used as a leverage for on a compensation for trafficking. So that could be it, or that could be, we said, potential foreign interference. I don't know. Who knows?
Or it could be like in the movie The Thomas Crown Affair, some rich person who, some flight of fancy, wants to keep it in their study.
Yeah, the option of the mad billionaire willing to order that time of Heist to have it in his home. But let's hope this is it, because if it's it, then it will remain complete. It will never be dismantled, and we will ultimately, eventually, we will find them back. If it's not today, maybe 10 years from now. That will be one of the best case scenarios. Should the jewels flee away from the police forces?
Joachim, Murat, we have Oliver G, who's the host of the Earful Tower podcast, and he spoke to two American tourists, Jake and Holly, who were actually in the room when the heist happened. Let's take a listen.
And I hear these bangs, like 3 loud bangs of trying to get in, that I assume. And I mean, just to jump to it, right, then so the attendant,
That was startling to hear those 3 loud bangs. But what got us to start running out of the room, which is when everybody started running, and even the information concierge started running, was the saws. We could hear the saws. They're saying chainsaws. They weren't chainsaws. They were probably small, like what we would call in the States, like sawzalls, like mini saws to cut tile. And when we heard that, I looked at Holly and I said, "This is something serious. Like we thought it was a terrorist attack."
Thinking it was a terrorist attack. Your reaction hearing that clip?
I want to say that the security guards in the Louvre did what they were trained for, to protect the visitors.
Right.
So they protect the visitors. So we cannot blame them, because indeed, who knows at the time what was happening? It could have been someone with a bomb belt. It could have been a terrorist attack. It could have turned into a hostage situation. So the good thing was to get the visitors out. Well, many failures down the security line have been will be identified afterwards. But today, the security guys in the Louvre did their job, and they did it well. They saved the life of the visitor while not knowing what was exactly the threat. The threat could have been huge. What is my reaction is that today, for the French touristic industry, it's a disaster. Because, the French touristic industry is extremely important for France. And when you are abroad and you plan to visit the Louvre, and you say, okay, if someone can just climb a ladder, break the window, and steal the jewels, what if a terrorist do the same? So why should I go to the Louvre? It's very dangerous. So that's another question mark. That what will be the impact overall on the touristic industry for France?
There's huge debate taking place this Monday among other museums around the world. Some Italian museums saying, yeah, we had a spate of thieves, and so we beefed up our security years ago. The Louvre is not up to snuff when it comes to this. Others, like the head of the Vatican Museum, saying, of course, this could happen here too. So it's hard to know. Are there going to be more copycat attacks? Are they going to be able to put? I heard some statistic like there's only 1/3 of the areas of the Louvre that are covered by
cameras,
CCTV cameras.
Yeah.
Is it going to be all brought up to speed fast?
Fast, probably not, because I think it's something like hundreds of kilometers of wirings to make all CCTV available all over the 94,000 square meters of the Louvre. It's huge. And obviously, some financial and budgetary arbitrage trade-off have been decided, let's say 3, 4, 5 years ago by the Louvre direction, by the Louvre management, that was not exactly in favor of increasing security. Today is the result. So, okay, so that was obviously a mistake.
There was this pledge by the president that he's going to increase by hundreds of millions renovation, including security, but it's going to take place over a decade.
Yeah, of course, because it takes time. And unfortunately, it has not been taken care of 5 years ago, 10 years ago, as it was planned, by the way, initially, because there is many in France. We do a lot of auditing and report and on the situation, and many alarms have been raised on the security situation of the Louvre, not only in case of an attack or an heist, but in case of a fire, for example, particularly after the terrible fire of the Cathedral Notre-Dame, which, by the way, is a very similar shock today for the French as what we are living now. The Notre-Dame fire, it was an equivalent shock for the French soul, for the French spirit, and it's a very big drama for us. What's happening?
Yeah, the Louvre, you mentioned 9,000 kilometers of...
94,000 square meters.
Square meters. For people who've never been to Paris, it's difficult to comprehend how big this was. It was so big that in the old days, it was also the museum and the finance ministry before they moved back.
Indeed. It's absolutely colossal. I think that if you want to visit the entire Louvre, spending something like 5 seconds in front of every art piece, it will take you a month altogether. So it's so huge, so big. It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest museum in the world.
Too big?
No, because it's why? I mean, it's available for the public, so it's not too big. It's fantastic. It's a beautiful gift to humanity, the Louvre, like the Metropolitan, like the British Museum. Those are fabulous gifts to the world and to the world population. Unfortunately, there is no zero risk possibility in this world, but we have experienced and witnessed now a level of let's say. Unresponsible taking care of the security situations that is very worrying. Yeah.
Well, is it more irresponsible than in the past? After all, it's been more than a century since this Italian man walked off with the Mona Lisa from the Louvre. What's different? Is it the security is lax, or is it just simply that there's more media coverage?
It's a system. I mean, it's extremely complicated. The Louvre machine as an organization is incredibly complicated. It's huge. It involves thousands of people. The decision making, I don't know how it works, but apparently it's
because one of the criticisms that was made was that because it has lots of temporary exhibits, the emphasis is put on securing those items that are loaned, not on what's there permanently.
Probably. But the Louvre is supposed to be the most secure museum in France, and the Galerie d'Apollon, where the heist happened, is supposed to be the most securized part of the Louvre.
Right.
That's kind of worrying.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Joachim, Murat, so much more to talk about. Thank you so much for joining us here on France 24.